talk about Haas.
Yeah,
I'm
Haas.
so used to Williams being last. Sorry,
Haas.
Williams.
We can just talk about Gunther while we talk about Haas. To be honest.
All right, let's talk about Gunther then. Let's talk about Haas. Haas came last with how many points did they have? 6?
No,
Something like that.
It was like 12, I think.
12?
Yeah, I think it was. I'll get it all.
Sorry, Haas. I underestimated you.
Yeah.
12 points.
12 points.
A whole 4th place.
Well, the thing is, 12 points. Jesus
12.
Christ. The thing is with Haas, I went into qualifying and I expected at least one of the drivers to get into Q2, possibly Q3, which they did. Because Haas had a very good one-lap car.
It's been like that for a few years, hasn't it?
Especially Hulkenberg.
Hulkenberg
Hulkenberg in his first season back. To be fair, what was that standout one in Canada, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it P4? You get P4 that
P4,
year?
possibly.
I think it was P4.
Possibly P4.
Because he beat Lewis. Yeah, I think it was P4.
Hulkenberg on his day, though.
Might have been... No, was he front row?
I don't remember. So much has happened.
Might have been front row.
Possibly. But Hulkenberg's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Hulkenberg's qualifying was phenomenal this year.
I do believe, though, Hulkenberg has had a very, very sour look at the draw. Because his qualifying pace is outstanding.
Oh, God, yeah.
Williams...
Always has been.
Williams 2010, pole position in Brazil.
Yeah.
His first race back in, 2019, qualified P3 in the Racing Point, I believe.
No,
was it 2020?
No, that would
was it
be
2020?
2020.
Was it 2020? 2019, 2020?
Was it 2021?
No, or 21.
Are you sure?
I don't think it was.
No, because he had 22 out, 21, and he left.
Oh yeah, 2019
Renault.
was hanging like a cow, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was with Daniel.
It was with Daniel. Then it would be 2021 then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, got
Yeah,
2021. No,
Or
wasn't it?
2020? I don't know.
It was 2020 and COVID, wasn't it?
Possibly.
Because we had the two Britain races.
Of course it was. Yeah, yeah.
The two Britain races.
He came back, phenomenal job,
2020.
P3, and now obviously he's shown that he can still qualify in a Haas. That Haas, his race pace is absolutely dog wank.
What was it? It's the tyres, isn't it?
The overheats his tyres. Overheats his tyres really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and it's just a shame because Haas is that kind of team where it's like they're underdogs no matter what because they're not a manufacturer team.
No.
They're the newest team in the sport.
Yeah.
And they've already done pretty well considering how many years they've been in.
That first year that they came in, and the second year. Do you remember when they started off Australia that year? Was it P6, P8 quali? And they were up there and then they just fucked the pit stops, essentially.
Oh, yeah. Grosjean finished, was it 4th in Bahrain in their first year? Something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So they did really well. And it's really sad because I really want them to do well. I really want them to do well. But
do I like Haas? No.
I don't.
The only reason why I liked Haas was Gunther.
Yeah, same. That's why I wanted him to do well. But now Gunther's gone.
See, now, the tyres, it comes down to the engineering and the manufacturing of that car, the issues that they've had this year. And they have appointed the head engineer as the new team principal.
So you might have just... They might... So basically what you're saying is that they might have screwed themselves over even more.
I think getting rid of Gunther was wrong. And that's not just in terms of for Netflix. I actually think Gunther was quite a good team principal.
I think he knew how to handle his drivers.
Oh, God.
But then again, people are also saying one of the reasons why he's been sacked is because he didn't handle Magnussen or Schumacher very well.
I think Schumacher treatment was wrong.
I agree.
I agree with the Schumacher treatment. However, Magnussen, I think we've seen this year as well. Like, obviously, when his first season back, Brazil stood out quite a lot, didn't it? Last year. Not 2023, 2022, that was. Brazil stood out for Magnussen a lot. He qualified on pole for the sprint. It's phenomenal. But I think we've seen this year, he's rash. Is he quick enough? He's been outshone by Hulkenberg majority of the year, I feel.
Yeah. It could be to do with... He could be getting rash because he knows Hulkenberg's quicker than him.
Maybe, and I think the dynamic of Grosjean and Magnussen, if you deep it, I think they both got a bit hot-headed because they both tried to outdo each other too much.
Yeah. Whereas Hulkenberg's just quick.
Oh yeah, Hulkenberg's just naturally.
It's really sad because I wish, speaking on Hulkenberg again as well, and it kind of proves, I think, how much Haas have kind of dropped off in the races. I think if Hulkenberg was at Aston Martin still, imagine if it was Hulkenberg and Alonso, let's just say. I think that Aston Martin, you know, you're looking at a solid like finish in the constructors, possibly ahead of McLaren, maybe even ahead of Ferrari or Mercedes, because Hulkenberg would have racked up those fourth places. He wouldn't have beat Fernando, but I reckon he would have finished fourth or fifth most of the races.
I think he could have been up there, if not ahead of Fernando on a couple of them as well.
Yeah, and like Hulkenberg's such a talented driver. He was linked with Ferrari at one point as well in his career.
Yes,
that never went through.
Well, you say this Hulkenberg thing. He left Race Point for Renault, right?
Yeah.
The other person that got kicked out essentially of Racing Point and went to Red Bull was Perez.
Sergio Perez.
They chose Perez to go over Lance Stroll. They wanted to keep Lance over Perez,
which is ridiculous.
Now that would have been Perez and Fernando. It would have been Perez and Vettel.
That's so sad because that driver line, Perez and Vettel and Perez and Fernando, is honestly
now Perez this season,
as we'll talk about,
he might have been a bit ropes.
Yeah, but he is up against the greatest driver on the grid at the moment. So, you know, you've got to give him some
the greatest driver on the grid at the moment.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
No.
So, yeah, Haas screwed it.
Year,
Haas screwed it.
Haas did screw it.
They need to get that race pace sorted out.
They need a race pace car.
For next year. And if they don't, every single fault that had brought Haas their woes last season was their race pace. Every single time. They just dropped back.